Nothing like striking while the iron is ice cold. Randy Pitchford let slip a little while ago. I think it was, opening weekend of the Borderlands movie that, oh, you guys need to pay attention for an upcoming announcement. I get it, because Borderlands 4 is going to be coming out in 2025. Actually, pretty decent turnaround on that. Not like the long lead times of a bunch of other games that are out there. So yeah, you know what? Hey, to be fair, it's not bad to announce a game, okay, and then have it out in a reasonable amount of time. Props to that, 1000%. But that's about where the props are going to end, because at the end of the day, this is still Borderlands, and that stuff has been crap for a long time. I don't like the game. I played the first one a little bit. I thought it was fine, but looter shooter stuff wasn't even for me back in the, mid-2000s when the first one dropped, and then by the time 2, the pre-sequel, let alone 3, which everybody universally says is garbage. I was already done with that crap, and Borderlands as an IP, as a game, probably done more to shape, for the worse, the modern gaming industry than any other franchise that immediately comes to mind. If you aren't familiar with it, okay, it's basically how Marvel humor has infected all of your favorite cinematic franchises. Yeah, it did the exact same thing for gaming, and it's, an unforgivable sin. But kicking off Gamescom 2024. Yes, and we're still going to be talking about Gamescom into the future, because there's a few things that were announced there that I don't quite know what to do with. It kind of revolves around Capcom, but we'll get to that in all due time, right? Gearbox has announced Borderlands 4 during opening night live. A teaser trailer below confirmed the 2025 release window across PC, PlayStation 5, and Xbox Series X and S, which is kind of interesting, right? Because, Borderlands 4 announced for Steam when you used to have Randy Pitchford out there for a track record point of view, or my expectation is that Epic's investment in technology will outpace Valve substantially back in April 13th of 2019 when Borderlands 3 was getting released. When we look back at Steam in 5 or 10 years, in 5 years, okay, cool. Even though at the time, in 2019, Steam was cooking, it may look like a dying store. And other competitive stores will be the place to be. Okay, cool. What's the first store page that you have underneath your announcement? Oh, right, it's the Steam competitor. Oh, no, right, it's Steam. Good job, Randy. Fantastic stuff. But yes, publisher 2K said Borderlands 4 launched in 2005 during parent company Take-Two's fiscal year of 2026. That means it will launch sometime between April and the end of 2025. It could be the spring, very likely a holiday release, one of 2K's big tentpole releases, but probably not too much toward the end of 2025 because, GTA 6 is theoretically supposed to be coming out there, so yeah. Be the summer to also echo, hey, to have consecutive years of Borderlands media out there, because like I said, man, nothing like striking while the iron is ice cold. This is accurate as of Thursday night, so heading into the weekend, but to be that is pathetic. That, to be completely honest, is not going to change that much. $23.5 million worldwide. It'll be lucky. It will be absolutely lucky to crack 25 by the end of the weekend, because bro, it still has 3,100 theaters, and on Wednesday, running $80 per theater. Yo, this is trash. $250,000. 13 days into its run. I think it was already announced that August 30th, it's going to be on streaming. Like, this thing is the bomb to end all bombs. But then again, we also have that Crow movie debuting this weekend, so let's check on our chickens before they hatch when it comes to the biggest bombs of the year. But putting the Borderlands 4 reveal just 2 weeks after the Borderlands movie's $90 million flop, oh brother, it's so much worse than that, is being hailed as Randy Pitchford's ultimate big brain move. Well, Randy Pitchford in general is just one of the biggest brains in the entire gaming space. I'm just also wondering, right, like Gearbox is obviously something different from Lionsgate Studio, the movie house behind that cinematic abomination, but is there some way, like, this is obvious damage control, obviously, to try to take any sort of SEO away from that terrible movie, move it over to Borderlands 4, try to mind wipe anybody of its failure, but can you also use it and try to funnel some of that marketing money over to Borderlands 4 to drive down its cost? Because this is obviously going to make more money than the game, or I'm sorry, than the movie. But let's see. Well, let's see. The newly announced Borderlands 4 is doing a strange bit of damage control for the Gearbox franchise after a disastrous Borderlands movie. But man, even without the movie, because Borderlands 3, man, that game was hated, okay? Like, that's the one thing, okay? This is kind of a shell game of hatred when it comes to currently what's going on with Borderlands, because the movie took away from how poorly received and how destructive 3 was for the franchise, but now it's taken the heat, and then 4 is trying to move some of the heat away from the movie, so it's kind of like a game of 3-card Monty when it comes to Randy Pitchford's reputation. Yesterday, Gamescom's opening night live, the showcase kicked off with revealing Borderlands 4 in the 2025 release window for developer Gearbox. It wasn't exactly the best kept secret in gaming. Just earlier this year, publisher 2K confirmed Borderlands 4 was in active development and just one of numerous projects on the way from developer Gearbox. Oh, fantastic. Just keep all of your gear inside that box. You guys have made a good game, and how long? It was all well before Gearbox CEO Randy Pitchford very confidently said Borderlands 4 was the greatest thing the studio has ever done. Well, that's not exactly a high bar, in my opinion. There's dancing around something, and then there's whatever Pitchford was doing here. Oddly, it seems the Borderlands 4 announcement is being taken by series fans to be a brilliant bit of distraction from the Borderlands movie. I mean, does it seem kind of pre-planned like that? Because obviously, like, we knew the movie was coming out. They were just hoping they were going to have a little bit more of a warm lead-in than, oh my god, it's the biggest flop in history. Barely 3 months after it opened in theaters and failed to recoup a significant amount of its reported $110 million budget, let alone the entire thing. You remember opening weekend? Like, we still got the numbers pulled up right here. Was what, $8.6 million opening weekend. Holy crap, man. Big brain move. Give movie rights to your franchise to a group that will butcher it. Distraction technique. Follow up release unleaked announcement. Yeah, exactly. Reads one Reddit commenter, followed by another one. Damage control at its finest. Yeah, they were just hoping, because this was more than likely always the plan, either here or at the Game Awards, whatever. Like, if the movie was gonna have a nice long cinematic run, they would probably wait for this announcement, for December for Jeff Keighley's big gimmick. But instead, you just decided to drop this at Gamescom as a moment to go, hey, Borderlands is trending, not for the best reasons, but we can go ahead and hijack that momentum. See, we're putting out something important. It's so much better than 55-year-old Kate Blanchett pretending to be a 30-year-old. Obviously, cinematic trailers, like the one accompanying Borderlands 4 announcement, take a long time to make and don't just happen overnight as damage control for a bad movie. No one here is saying that. No, they've known it's been around for a while, but in fact, it's worth pointing out the Borderlands movie apparently appears to have had a positive effect on the games it's taking inspiration from. Oh, okay, Borderlands 3 rocketed up to the Steam's bestseller charts this last week, for example. Oh, that's interesting, because I had the Steam charts pulled up and I was interested to see, how has the movie had an impact on the player base? And as you can see right here, 10,000 people are playing the game. Well, that's awfully good. 12,000 people in the past 24 hours. That's not bad at all. And of course, as of right now, at time of recording, we're heading into the weekend, so that could have changed. But in the past months since the movie came out, I mean, yeah, it's had a great effect. It's had a great effect, even for this game that was never really all that well liked by the fan base. But I guess it's kind of having that whole Fallout series knock-on effect. Even for a game like Fallout 4, which was divisive at the time of its release, ended up seeing a knock-on effect. But it was a little bit more sustained because people, for whatever reason, couldn't see the flaws in that show, but really liked it, and are definitely going to look back after the completion of Season 2 and go, well, that was kind of a drop-off from Season 1, And some other revisionists will be out there going, well, actually, Season 1 wasn't as good as you remember. But in actuality, no. Season 2 wasn't that much of a drop-off because it was written by the same hacks, and they were always that untalented. Yeah, even if people didn't love the movie, it's good that they're still trying out Gearbox games. Well, not really, okay? The one that you should probably go back and play is Duke Nukem Forever. And while, yeah, there's multiple Gearbox projects in development, I don't want them to be making another Duke Nukem because, Christ almighty, could you imagine a 2024, 2025, 2026 Duke Nukem? Him just running around, giving women compliments for their hard work ethic, apologizing for his toxic masculinity, baby. I'm here to kick ass and hand out tampons, and I'm all out asses to kick. I don't want that. You don't want that. And the same thing goes with Borderlands and the general public. So with all that said, thank you all very much for the gift of your time. I've been Don Consuelo. I want you to follow your gut and get after it. Take care, everyone.